somewhere beyond the solar system's outermost reaches, which extend further than any human-made object has ever gone. Voyager to remain silent, gliding through the interstellar void. But what it just sent back isn't just a different measurement or an echoing signal into deep space. It is a picture, a final image. Furthermore, what that image showed was so unexpected, so well organized, and out of place in the universe's infinite randomness that shock waves were sent through the deepest corners of the scientific community. A geometric anomaly, intelligent-looking, disturbingly deliberate, was captured not by accident but by a plutonium-powered probe guided by commands typed decades ago. But how is it possible that this ancient machine, older than the modern internet itself, has now become the messenger of something that might not come easily at all? Was Voyager followed? Did it cross into a region where physics itself behaves differently? Or has it stumbled upon something that was never meant to be seen? This is not an accident. This is a warning signed in mathematics, woven in light, encoded in the final frames of Voyager 2's journey. And if you think the universe is empty, think again. In 1977, when Voyager 2 launched, it carried with it humanity's most optimistic gesture, a golden disk filled with greetings, music, and sounds of Earth, a time capsule aimed at whoever or whatever might find it. That was the message, or so we thought. But nearly 50 years later, what Voyager 2 has returned with suggests something even more chilling: the reply. The image that was found from Voyager's final data burst wasn't supposed to be possible, not with its failing cameras, not at this distance. And yet, when analyzed using a quantum AI system designed to scan for patterns invisible to the human eye, it revealed a structure. Not a star, not a planet, not dust or plasma, but a lattice, precise, symmetrical, and persistent across numerous frames. It's a particular order that defies randomness and whispers of design. But here's the worst part: it remained constant in relation to the spacecraft, as if it were in its orbit or tracking it. NASA scientists were quick to rule out hardware malfunction. There was no anomaly just seen in one camera. It was present in numerous instruments layered across different time intervals and wavelengths. The structure, when mapped, showed repeating Fibonacci ratios and prime number spacings, a signature so profoundly mathematical that one scientist referred to it as the universe winking at us with code. But structures like this don't exist in deep space, especially not ones that seem to adapt. That's right, when Voyager's sensors continuously scanned, the anomaly changed slightly, as if responding to being observed. This behavior is reminiscent of the observer effect in quantum mechanics, but not at the atomic scale. This was kilometers wide. How can a structure react to observation unless it's aware? And if it's aware, it might not be natural. It might be artificial, or worse, it might be alive. To understand what Voyager 2 might have encountered, we must accept an unsettling truth: the edge of our solar system isn't just a boundary of plasma and particles. It's a phase change region where the very fabric of space begins to mutate. Quantum mechanics and gravity theorists suggest spacetime beyond the heliopause may facilitate phenomena we've never modeled. It's the cosmic twilight zone, where the rules written in Einstein's language begin to blur and bend into quantum dialects. The structure captured in Voyager's image fits no known model of interstellar matter. It reflects no light but absorbs specific frequencies. It casts no shadow but disrupts magnetic fields. It might not be part of our dimension in any way. Some suggest what Voyager saw may be a projection of a higher dimensional object intersecting with our realm. In simpler terms, a shadow from a different dimension now following a machine we built in the 1970s with technology less advanced than a cutting-edge calculator. The shape was just one factor. When quantum AI parsed the data, it uncovered something buried deep in the anomaly's sequences and patterns of transmission, not any sequence, but prime numbers, Fibonacci spirals, and geometric symmetries that mirror the exact mathematical language used on the Voyager Golden Record. The patterns lined up with Earth's attempt to define universal math, a Rosetta Stone for alien minds. But here's the terrifying twist: the response wasn't just similar, it was mirroring. It was as if something out there had not only received our message, but understood it and replied using the same language, a structure encoding it only detectable by the very AI we just developed. Not decades ago, not 5 years ago now, as if whatever's out there was waiting for us to develop the intelligence to hear it. Behind NASA's sealed conference rooms, leaked internal emails revealed that top scientists at the agency were told not to discuss the image with the media or the mirrored patterns it contained. A rapid shift in communication protocols followed. The data streams from Voyager were rerouted, mirrored into private quantum labs for computers, and secured with heavy encryption. Why? Because the implications were too destabilizing not just for physics, but for geopolitics, religion, and science itself. One anonymous systems engineer described the internal atmosphere as identical to a Cold War alert, not from fear of destruction, but of contact. Because if Voyager's image was truly a response, it meant the experiment was over. We sent the signal, something responded, and now it's too late to take it back. As the news filtered through unofficial channels, the scientific community began to split. On one side, traditionalists insisted the structure could be explained by previously unknown interstellar dust formations or lensing effects. But others, particularly those in theoretical physics and quantum field modeling, weren't convinced. Several papers initially uploaded to Arxiv and mysteriously removed within hours claimed the data matched predicted behaviors of artificially generated quantum fields. In layman's terms, these were fields manipulated by design rather than by nature. These theorists argued that Voyager had entered a controlled region of space where information itself could be shaped, redirected, or even encoded visually. One physicist compared the image to a glyph, something between a symbol and a command. And then came the unthinkable suggestion: what if this was not merely a response? What if it was an invitation? Despite this, Voyager's magnetometers, operating far past their expected lifespan, began to show data that defied understanding. The local magnetic field near the object pulsed not randomly, but at predetermined intervals, routine and predictable, like a beacon, like a heartbeat. These pulses had no terrestrial explanation and were unrelated to galactic or solar activity turbulence. More disturbingly, the intervals between each pulse formed a Fibonacci progression, matching the same sequences detected visually in the object's structure. For decades, we've searched for signs of alien life in radio waves and exoplanet atmospheres. But what Voyager might have found is something far more advanced. A civilization or force that manipulates the very environment around it, leaving behind not wreckage or radio signals, but patterns only an intelligent observer would notice. And we just did. A terrifying development emerged as the investigation progressed. A thought began to solidify not in science journals, but in private meetings among physicists, signal analysts, and AI theorists. What if Voyager's image wasn't of an object? What if it was a reflection not figuratively, but literally a dynamic, responsive distortion in space itself, like a mirror turning toward us at the exact moment we looked deeply? Some suggested Voyager hadn't captured something new, but had triggered something dormant. A sentient mechanism or a field surveillance system lying in wait. Invisible until one of our machines finally crossed the proper line, not to be criticized or welcomed, but simply to be seen. And now, with Voyager drifting silently into the darkness, revealing a picture that should not exist, we may have crossed a threshold we were never meant to reach, one where the observers become the observed. Voyager 2 has been around for nearly 50 years, drifting silently through the void, carrying with it the hopes of a species too young to understand what it was truly asking. We incorporated our music, mathematics, and heartbeat into a disk of gold and hurled it into the unknown, believing that maybe someday someone would discover it. But deep down, we never truly believed they'd answer. Until this point, Voyager 2's final image isn't just a picture, it's a rupture, a quiet tear in our understanding of what lies beyond, a geometric echo of our own logic reflected back at us in forms too precise, too deliberate to be chance. It's not a star, not a planet, not gas, dust, or a comet. It's something else, something that thinks, that waits, that mirrors, and, worst of all, something that appears to comprehend us. We once believed we were sending our message into the void, but Voyager's final act may have confirmed the most ancient fear buried in every myth, in every religion, in every staring eye that ever looked up at the sky. We were never alone, neither in this galaxy nor this dimension, even if we kept silent. And now, with a single image captured by a dying machine, that silence has been broken. The sky has become louder because of a flash of light. If this revelation shook you, if it made you question everything we thought we knew about space, time, and solitude, then do not leave in silence. Subscribe to this channel. We adhere to the transmissions that others fear to acknowledge. Turn on notifications because the final message from Voyager might not be its last. Send this video to someone who still believes space is empty. Comment below. Was it a reply or a test?